Most guys think a strong core is all about blasting your abs. What if I told you that crunches could be sabotaging your vertical jump, balance, and even your power transfer? Today, we're cutting through decades of misinformation to reveal the core training methods that boost performance by double digits, backed by hard science. Let's get real. The six-pack culture focuses on aesthetics, yet studies show core training isn't about how you look, it's about how you move. A 2023 meta-analysis of 22 studies with over 3,200 participants found that structured core training improves balance by 1.7 standard deviations, p 0.001, vertical jump by 0.69 SD, p 0.003, horizontal jump by 0.84 SD, and throwing distance by 3.42 SD. Those are massive effects when you translate them to sport. Think adding 2 to 3 inches to your jump or throwing like a pro. But here's the twist. What most lifters do doesn't hit those benefits. Hollowing and bracing aren't the same thing. Research from 2024 measured transversus abdominis, internal oblique, and lumbar multifidus thickness. Hollowing increased muscle thickness 106% plus 24.5% at rest versus 87.1% plus 20.9% with bracing. For rehab, posture correction, and endurance activities, hollowing is superior. Bracing, on the other hand, is vital for maximal lifts like squats and deadlifts, yet most programs conflate the two. Even worse, some coaches chase muscle activation using EMG readings. A critical 2022 review concluded that surface EMG amplitude isn't a validated predictor of muscle hypertrophy. Higher EMG during hip thrusts doesn't guarantee more glute growth, as we'll see later. If you're picking exercises based on how much you feel the burn, you might be wasting time. The meta-analysis found that integrating core work into compound movements rather than endless isolation produced the biggest improvements. Exercises like dead bugs, bird dogs, side planks, and suitcase carries challenge stability while reinforcing movement patterns. Aim for 2 to 4 sessions per week, 4-6 sets per exercise, 10-20 reps or 30-60 second holds. Progress by increasing range of motion or adding load, not just adding reps. Hollowing or drawing your navel toward your spine while maintaining diaphragmatic breathing excels at activating deep stabilizers. Zatsipakis et al. Found that bird dog and side plank produced the highest increases in transversus abdominis and internal oblique thickness when combined with hollowing. These exercises are gold for desk workers with low back pain and endurance athletes. Do 2-3 sets of 30-second holds, focusing on steady breathing. Bracing means creating 360 degrees abdominal pressure by stiffening your trunk. It's essential for heavy compound lifts and contact sports. Before you squat or deadlift, brace by inhaling into your belly and locking your ribs and pelvis. Use this for sets of 3-8 reps at 75-95% of your max. Bracing protects your spine and allows you to produce maximal force. The famed hip thrust versus back squat study from 2023 measured muscle cross-sectional area with MRI. Despite hip thrusts showing 47% higher EMG amplitude, glute growth was statistically identical between hip thrust and squat groups. Meanwhile, the squat group experienced significantly greater quadriceps and adductor growth, 3.6 cm2 and 2.55 cm2 larger than the hip thrust group, respectively. So pick the exercise that fits your biomechanics and goals. Don't chase the biggest burn. Injury prevention isn't optional. It's your long-term ticket to progress. A cluster randomized trial of 4,564 female soccer players found that a 15-minute neuromuscular warm-up twice weekly reduced ACL tears by 64%. Injury rate 0.28% versus 0.67% in controls. Follow-up meta-analysis shows 2 to 3 sessions per week produce 50 to 60% injury risk reduction and that 10-15 minute sessions work as well as longer ones. Here's how to structure your warm-up. Raise 5 minutes of light cardio to increase muscle temperature. Every 1 degree C yields a 3.5% performance boost. Activate and mobilize. 5 to 7 minutes of dynamic stretches like leg swings and high knees. Avoid static holds over 60 seconds because they can reduce strength output. Potentiate. 3 to 5 minutes of sport-specific movements, such as jumps or sprints at 70-90% intensity. 2 sessions per week are enough when done consistently. Stop guessing how often you should train a muscle. New research in 2024 reveals that frequency matters more for strength than hypertrophy. Aim for at least 10 sets per muscle per week, spread over 2 to 4 sessions to maximize growth. For strength, hitting a muscle group 3 times per week yields greater neural adaptation. Use volume landmarks. MEV, minimum effective volume, is 6-10 working sets per week. MAV, maximum adaptive volume, is 10-20, and MRV, maximum recoverable volume, varies by recovery capacity. Track your performance and adjust. If you're serious about athletic performance, stop chasing the burn and start training smarter. Core training isn't about aesthetics, it's about control, power, and injury prevention. Integrate dead bugs, bird dogs, side planks, and suitcase carries into your routine. Use hollowing to rehab and brace for heavy lifts. Warm up intelligently with 10 to 15 minute neuromuscular protocols at least twice per week. And remember, high EMG doesn't equal growth. Science gives us the unfair advantage if we follow it. Comment below with your biggest core training myth and subscribe for upcoming videos where we decode frequency and volume landmarks using the latest 2024 meta-analysis. For deeper guidance, check the blog article linked in the description.